Welcome to SPS. My name is Marco Carrera. I'm CTO of Eurotech. We are here at the Eurotech booth, and I'm going to give you a quick illustrations of the demonstration that we brought at the show today. So here we have a small production line, a simulation of a production line with a conveyor belt that is actually moving parts and a robotic arms that is supposed to dispatch the part, whether they are of good quality or a bad quality. We have an optical inline inspection here that through artificial intelligence will actually detect the parts that are good and the parts that are bad. In this specific use case, we are using as a part a small PCB with soldered on components. The defect that we are trying to track is whether all components have been soldered on into the board. In this specific case, a good part has a USB connector and a bad part is missing the corresponding USB connector. So if I place a good part in the conveyor belt will move it under the camera will detect the position of the part, it will actually detect the components that are found in the parts, and then instruct the robotic arms to actually pick up the part and replace it into the conveyor belt if the part is good. If I place a bad part into the conveyor belt, the process is repeated. The bad part goes under the camera. It will actually detect the part, find the missing component. A red light will be turned on, and the robotic arm will be instructed to actually discard the part and actually put it into the discard bins. Now, the interesting part is not just what the demo does, but how simple it is with the Eurotech devices and their software to build a solution like this. So, if we take a look at the architecture of the solutions, we see that we have a Eurotech hardware. At the show today, we are actually announcing our IEC 62443-4-2 certified hardware. This is a cybersecurity for industrial and control system. It's particularly important in Europe as the NIS2 regulatory gets active into October of this year. So cybersecurity certified component gives you a secure foundation on top of which you can ensure the reliability and the security of your production line. Within this hardware, there is a software framework that Eurotech is an open source software framework for which Eurotech is a maintainer and the original contributor. The name is ESF, that can be used with a low-code, no-code environment to model edge data pipelines. In this specific case, we have a pipeline that starts from camera acquisitions. We are partners of NVIDIA. The hardware has NVIDIA accelerated GPUs. We have Docker containers that gives you the ability to simply interface with the cameras. So we use the Aravis framework to interface with the camera here and detect the picture and the components on top. The inference that we produce into this device is managed and orchestrated by the NVIDIA Triton server. So through ESF, you can actually download the inference model and orchestrate and schedule which model has to run where. Also, we extend the security value proposition to the AI inferencing, so we actually control and encrypt the model that you run at the edge, so you also have ensured that we protect the intellectual property of the model that is running into the device. Once the AI inference part detects what has to be done, the control, it passed to a low-code, no-code environment that we call ESF, where you decide what to do. So you can do orchestrate the inference, the edge processing, and create a digital twin of the whole value of the whole machine with cloud connectivity. So in this specific case, as we were seeing earlier, the result of the inference is sent to data dashboards that gives you the real-time monitoring on what's happening into the device, and they can actually do data analytics like the yield rates of how many parts, good parts were counted and how many bad parts were counted.